yourself. Hey, yo, quit playing.
Hey!
Quit playing yourself.
Radio UTD.
Hello?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Mercury Morning News. My name's Ben. I'm the managing editor at UTD Mercury, and as always, I'm sitting here with Miss Amanda Messina, the station manager of Radio UTD. How are you doing on this fine morning?
Ben, I am doing pretty good. We're both here in the station. It's, not even midterm. It's like first exam season for a lot of people.
It's like first exam season. It is unfortunately that time of the year.
Also, I heard that some people had to finish off comments to the core.
This is correct. Oh, that was wonderful. Alright, so let me let you in on comments to the core. And if you had to do a comments to the core project as well, you can relate, in fact, to what I'm about to say. I met with my group once. This entire semester. We made a group meet beforehand. We didn't meet. We just told each other, alright, let's get this group contract over with. And somebody sent it in and we're like, great, now I don't have to worry about it. Another week passes, it's time for the project. I'm like, alright, cool. Let's get on a Teams call. One of them can't make it, we already made the plan to group me anyway. They're just gonna send in the audio. I'm like, alright guys. So, we have this boilerplate template of slides. And we're gonna vomit some words on it. You were gonna talk for about a minute. You were gonna talk about this thing for about a minute. I'm gonna talk about this thing for about a minute. And I can, extend it out as much as we need to make the 5 minutes. And then we're gonna be done. And then, I hope I never have to see any of you again. It was wonderful working with you. And I was like, alright, cool.
Did you say that at the end?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
For this comments to the core project. I hope I never have to speak with any of them again about this.
Okay, about the project.
About the project, yeah. And then we went off. We all got the audio done. They sent it to me. I put it in. I screen recorded it, shipped it, sent it in. Done. The easiest, most BS project I have ever put together in my lifetime.
And that establishes the difference between our personalities. Because, fair warning, I'm like 2 years older than Ben, but we had to do comments at the core, I think, within the same? No, yours was due this year, right?
Mine was due this year.
Okay,
I'm a junior this year. I had to do it this year.
It was like we were staggered, I guess. 'Cause when I was a junior, that was like 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, no, I did not. I don't know how to finesse something without feeling like it's the most important assignment that's gonna break my career or something.
I literally was like, I was just chilling. I was doing some other homework and things. Yeah, I was planning out some media stuff. I've got like a stream idea I was working on, and I was just like, all right, let's get this over with. Is that time? Is it? It's BS time? Oh, I love that. Let's get in there. And the wonderful thing about it was that everybody was on the same page. None of us gave a single darn. Not one.
I think I was the only person that gave a single darn, and that created the conflict in my group.
No, you're the person that gave a single darn, and that's why they keep doing it, because there's somebody cares.
Well, I care because it feels like a threat to the whole, if you don't do it, you don't graduate, or if you don't pass. But it seems like everyone's passing, which is good, but then it's like some people I know.
Everybody passes because you just kind of have to send in a project.
Yeah.
I remember one year, in my freshman year, they had somebody, they just shipped in, all they shipped in was a 5-minute video of just a sink running water and nothing else. I think it was a little bit of narration, nothing else. It was just the sink running water. They just shipped that.
That's a statement. I guess that was the water conservation year, because that was one of the times.
Yeah.
That's the thing with comments to the core too. It seems like they are switching every 2 years, or is it every 1 year now? Because it started.
It's every 2 years.
Yeah.
It's every 2 years.
Because it started my freshman year.
I hope I never have to deal with it again. I mean, like, maybe they changed this year, maybe they started caring mildly more, and then, like, they're gonna make it so that I don't pass the project and I have to do it again, in which case I will be very sad. But but I hope that does not happen. That's the idea, that's the goal.
It'll be interesting to see how it changes over time, or if they eventually just phase it out, because it is still like a pretty new initiative to encourage collaboration, which...
See, that's like not...
It's forced.
We all collaborated in order to get it over with as soon as possible with the minimum amount of effort required, right? We were united in not caring. They succeeded. They succeeded in like the exact opposite way that I think they wanted to succeed in, right?
It's efficiency, but without much effort. If that's the best
No.
way to put it. No.
No. I mean, like, I okay, like, let's be realistic, right? I would never ship the project that I shipped for the Comments to the Core to any other entity in a million years, right? You have to care. You have to care. And, like, there's no way you can make anybody care about this project. Because all you have to do is do the minimum, ship it, and then you get pass-fail. Right? And everybody knows that, like, passing is just the minimum effort required. Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Right? And, I mean, I technically had sources. I referenced them. We came up with a plan to solve the public transportation issue at the city of Dallas.
Oh,
you know?
Okay.
And it was literally just like, make more buses. Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
That's pretty solid.
You know? It's whatever. But it's just like that individual essay, that's like the most painful writing I've ever done. It was the most like word count bloating, like space filling writing that I've ever put together in my lifetime. You know? Like, I've written 2 pages out of content because, like, I cared, right? You know, writing out like articles from Mercury or like AMP or something. But this was just like the state of public transportation in the city of Dallas is the problem that we're focusing on today. And thus, we'll be talking about the Dallas area rapid transit system, as well as the effects it has on the Dallas population, and as well as the University of Texas at Dallas's population, and why that matters, and why the state of public transportation in the city of Dallas, which mainly consists of the Dallas area rapid transit system, is so poor. I would just write like that.
Did you use that voice for the video?
No.
Okay.
I mean that required effort, which I would not, I would not put into this project, right?
I put too much effort when I did it, and I stressed myself out. And I was on a trip. Like a trip, like in a hotel with classmates.
Yeah.
And I made them leave a house party because I started panicking because I wanted to check that my e-learning submission went through.
How could you do this? How could you do this?
That's like, I guess, my personality, my A-typeness. That's how Comments to the Core affected me. A house
party? Come on, man. You mean to leave a house party for this?
Yeah.
That's depression, dude.
And then it made me feel like such a waste of a person because I was
I mean, you're not a waste of a person, but like that's like that was just depressing.
Like, great, I just forced everyone else to leave because I was panicking about this thing, Sucks. But
that's a rough one.
I wish there was more customization, because maybe that would help let people care about it more, but again, it's a forced collaboration, which is going to cause some tension or disinterest no matter what.
Right. Well, I mean, that's depressing. But what's not depressing? Listening to us right here on Radio UTD. Today, you're listening to... You know what? Yeah. Today, you're listening to Merc on Mic. the more general talk show. It's in between cycles where me, Amanda, and occasionally other people will get on and we'll just chat about, love life and the meaning of everything. Whatever.
Are we going to chat about love life?
Love
I was
Life
not
Sunshine?
expecting that. Oh, yes, that one. Yeah.
Love Life Sunshine?
I know
talking about Love Life
cosplayer in
Sunshine?
Florida that is in the Love Life group. She's wonderful.
Well, we might be talking about Love Life, but if you want to talk about Love Life with us, then you can follow us at Radio UTD across the social media board. Tweet at us, follow us on Instagram, check out our YouTube channel, and all those wonderful things, right? As well, you can call in at 972-883-6305. Well, I mean, don't actually do it right now. It'd be a little bit awkward. We're not really looking for callers like at this exact moment.
We could have a special caller episode though.
We could have a special caller episode, but that's not this episode. I'll tell you that right now. All right, so don't worry about it. But if you want to check it out, call in on another show when people are here. Because it is a station phone, right?
I mean, we are here.
We are here. We are, in fact, here. But call back when somebody else is here. That would be pretty ideal. All right. So, yeah.
Well,
that's comments to the core.
What you could do, if you are, I assume if you're listening to this, you are on our tuner page. It got a big redesign.
Yeah, you can see the nice little comment section over there, where you can send us a comment, say hello, tell us to play some different music while we're chatting with you. But right now, we got a neat little Nintendo and lo-fi thing. Next time, I'll probably actually put something together. But
we could get one of our audio techs to make a bed.
We could.
It's always an option.
Or we could program jazz.
Or we could just program jazz.
Jazz
we could just play the
option.
Scaravan bed for 30 straight
Scaravan
minutes.
bed for 30 minutes. Scaravan.
Speaking of jazz and Scaravan, how is your Cool Cats Couch show going?
How is the Cool Cats Couch? Well, what is it? Faithful listeners who heard the Cool Cats Couch last Friday, that was it. That was the only time it existed. We did not record it. It was not recorded in any way, shape, or form, except your memories. You had to hear it on the airwaves. And if you missed it and you want to if you want to hear the next one, you better be there next Friday, 11 to 12. I don't know who the guest is yet, but whoever it is, it's going to be a banger, always. Of course. It'll be a great time. Man, I really hated comments to the chorus. That was ridiculous.
Well, that's why you have to be thorough in that Quadratics response form that they make you fill out.
That Qualtrics feedback, or what the? I just combined feedback survey in my head. In that feedback survey, I just said, I hope that nobody ever has to do this project ever again. I think it's a waste of time. I think that nobody should do this. That's it. And I know they won't listen to me. So I don't think I need to elaborate. They're not gonna. They're gonna do it anyway. But that's my feedback. That's all it is.
If hypothetically they did ask for your feedback, what would you rather want instead?
Okay, so I would rather if you had to find some way to force comments to work on a project together, right? So number one, you need to make it something that they would actually care about. Well, I mean, honestly, what you could do is do like an earlier version of your capstone project, right? Like a sophomore capstone, in a sense. Ooh. Yeah, like a sophomore, like a junior capstone. Yeah, I could call it whatever. Call it like the sophomore comet showcase. Whatever, right? And you make it so that they have to make a project about what they want to do, right? About something that they would want to do. Maybe if they're a bunch of game devs and they make a game, right? Or they're interested in media, they do something with that. Or you can have multiple prompts, but for multiple different majors, right? Mm-hmm. You have a CS prompt, then you have a bio prompt, then you have an economics prompt, or whatever. And then sure, you can also have a general prompt, but you give people a lot of options. in order to put a project together. And really, forcing people to group with 3 other random people does not quite engender, cooperation. 3 other people.
For my year, it was like 6 other people.
Oh.
They like got 1 person from each school.
Ew.
Like exactly 1 person from each school for max collab ability.
Ew. That's too many people. That's way too many people.
Because then it's a lot of different opinions as well.
No, it's way too many people on a project that nobody cares about. That's the thing. So, like, maybe you give the option for people to pick their own groups, right? Say, all right, by this date, you better get your own group together, or we're gonna make all the groups for you. And I guess their point was that we want it to be all new people, right? We want it to be all new people you ain't ever met before. And it's just like, all right, sure. But that does not exactly engender, good group good group cooperation.
What if you got paired with an ex? That's probably happened.
Has that?
That would be a time.
Imagine getting paired with your ex on Comments to the Core. Couldn't be me.
It would be cool if they made it like a required class, like a 1 credit hour thing that you had to pass.
Sure, you can do that. And then you, like, give time for it.
Yeah, like independent research.
It's like, you either want us to care or you want us to not care, right? And so if you make it like this 5-week thing, they didn't even update the survey. They said it was like 7 weeks or whatever. It's like, you either want us to do the thing or you don't want us to do the thing. Right? And like, if you're gonna give us 5 weeks while we're like doing all of our other classes that we actually care about,
right?
Like,
it's gonna be pushed to the side.
Nobody cares. That's the thing. I don't know how you make people care, because like inherently, like you're forcing people to do a project that's not related to them, most likely, with a bunch of people that they don't know and also don't care about. So it's pretty scuffed
and stressful.
Not really.
For certain demographics of our student body, stressful.
Sure. Fair. I don't know. It's just more of like it's another last minute assignment to do. There goes another 2 or 3 hours of my time lost to the void.
Only 2 or 3 hours? I'm jealous.
I mean, I need you to understand. Nobody cared about this project.
I'm really trying to
This took me like 30 minutes. Like, I vomited words onto a page for 30 minutes, and that was the individual essay. And then I just waited for everybody to get in. They're like 1 or 2 minute audio. Clip it, ship it, done.
Nice.
I didn't even have to open a video editor. Great. It's just like put the voice memos on the slides and go.
The way to go.
Get it out of here. Welcome to the Merc on Mic. We're just trash talking, comments to the core for like the first 20 minutes. It's a great time.
I believe this segment we are going to call Comets and Craters.
I mean, we don't have to. That's just kind of an excuse.
If you like the name Comets and Craters, let us know in the comments.
It's a very generic talk show, I would think. We're figuring it out as we go along. But I like to think this is a very generic talk show.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be more organic.
We can just talk. We're just chilling. Mercury Morning News, we'll have some stories for you and some cool things. But here on Merc on Mic, we're just gonna let loose a little bit.
Just a little.
Just a little bit. No cursing on air.
Of course not.
That.
Never.
All right.
But again, with like, I guess the more options in the map, the fact that they wanted us to create like useful, beneficial solutions to real problems through collaboration. There's a lot of collaboration that happens already.
Yeah.
Throughout this university. It's also the need to promote that and to try to encourage that collaboration. Not exactly tied with a grade, though again, it would be cool if it was like an independent research like class you needed to take and you could choose who you wanted to work with and for what purpose. But there's the Art Sci Lab in ATech. Yeah. I just saw they're doing one, it's like bioluminescent bacteria, I think, and they're combining it with like sonification effects from that bacteria, and they're working with like the Gas and Smith lab, which is a biochem actual research lab. So
that's pretty cool. And collaborations like that are super cool, just like the one you're listening to right now on Radio UTD. This is the Merc on Mic. It's the show that we do with the Mercury and Radio UTD, along with the Mercury Morning News, where we'll get on Reiners at times, and it'll be me and Amanda at times, just talking about whatever comes to mind. You're listening on Radio UTD, or you can follow us at Radio UTD across the social media board and call in, probably at a different time, 972-883-6305, but really, leave us a comment right there on the tuner page. Tell us what you're thinking. What do you think about Comments to the Core? What are you thinking, huh? You having a good time?
let us know.
Let us know. But yeah, the bioluminescence lab is a pretty cool thing. It's pretty sick. Oh wait, no, hold up. I got one more promo point for you before we segue out of this ad. We've got the Pseudo Stereo concert coming on up. I have no details about it whatsoever, but I'm sitting next to the station manager who can tell you all about it. What's going on?
I would love to. So it's going to be this Thursday at 7:30 p.m. until about 9 p.m. We've got the plinth rented from 6 to 10 because we've got to get the lights up and get the bands in. We're going to be having After a Night of Unsettling Dreams as the opener, and we'll be closing with Skirts. Skirts just like last night had an album release show.
Nice.
So we'll be hearing a lot of new music from them. In the past, we did one Pseudo Stereo session with Skirts in the SSA. But this is the first time we've kind of interacted with them in a while, so it's going to be fun. And then hopefully in the future, we'll be having a Pseudo Stereo session with After a Night of Unsettling Dreams. So Skirts is very much like indie. I always like to give another, like, Skirts when I think of, like, DFW, Richardson Indie, and then After a Night of Unsettling Dreams is relatively new to the scene in terms of radio knowing about them and them, like, reaching out to us. And this was the discussion the other day when we were describing genres, but I think it's slightly more on the rock side of indie. Mm-hmm. So, a little heavier.
I'm talking about indie. What does indie mean?
It's so
to the
general
music
now.
illiterate, like, what can indie really mean? Because there's indie pop, there's indie rock,
there's indie folk,
indie electronic, indie jazz. Is that even a thing? I feel like
it will be a thing, maybe.
I feel like it's just jazz. There are kind of like indie artists in a sense that make jazz, but that's kind of just jazz. Jazz is jazz, a lot. Except when it's free jazz. Then you get Machine Gun. That's a wild time.
Okay.
Have you never heard Machine Gun?
No. Is it an actual machine gun during the...
No. So Machine Gun is a free jazz piece where they just, like...
Does it sound like a machine gun?
Blare their instruments to make it sound like a machine gun.
That's interesting.
That's the piece. That's the track. It's a machine gun track.
It's a machine gun.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes. Well, you know what? We can do a little bit of comments and creators while we're waiting on the new music. So we can chat a little bit. Chat for a little while. What are some of your comments and creators for this week, man?
So this is a notification for all of you living in UV, so you don't go through the same strife. But I guess if you're a freshman, you might be more aware if you read through the whole handbook. But as a reminder, if you've been, living in UV for the past few years, maybe you're on AES, so you never had to worry about this. But there is minimum hour requirements to have a living space within University Village. So for undergraduates, it is at minimum you need 9 hours per semester. And if you don't, they'll send you an email that says you need to leave the apartment in a week. So don't go through that pain, y'all.
Ain't that wonderful?
If you're living on campus, just make sure that you're taking the right amount of hours to fit, so you don't have to go through potentially having to move out mid-semester. Sometimes they do give exceptions. For me, they gave one. It's weird because it's the guidelines say 9 per semester, but they don't specify that you have to have it the whole semester, because in my situation, I'm taking extra for the second 8 weeks. So exceptions are given. So if you're in a situation where you absolutely can't take the extra hours, you can email housing and maybe discuss and see if they can work around you or give you an exception where you're good for this semester but not for the next. But if you just want to avoid that tension entirely, just check the handbook. I know there's slightly different hours rules for graduate students and those taking internships. So that's I guess it's a crater.
That's your crater.
We're
doing craters all day today. What's your comment? What's your good thing today? What's been going on? What's been good?
What's been good?
What's been good?
What's been good?
What's good?
UTD Comet, good? Yes?
Just good.
We got a lot of new trainees.
This is true.
That's gonna be great.
How many trainees do we have?
We took 12.
12 trainees, 12 upcoming radio shows for you to listen to. Yeah, let's go.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a great time. What do you know? Can you tease what the shows are at all?
We got a bit of techno, a bit of EDM, a bit of Chinese music. Got some talk show ideas. We have an up and coming voice actor.
Love that. Wait, so what is the voice actor going to do for a show? Are they doing like a talk show?
Like chill, lo-fi stuff. But did mention to us that have like a setup at home, and they want to get into voice acting. And like I know a few voice actors. Like there's a Funimation, building in the DFW area. So like,
oh really?
Yeah, two of my coworkers for my summer job I've been at for the past few years. Both of them are voice actors. One of them is the voice of the judge in Ace Attorney, which is, he's also a puppeteer on the side, and it's just the duality.
Is he like an old dude?
Yeah, he's not like old, but like I think he's probably around my parents' age, but like the authority. And then it's like now the kids like that we teach know about that franchise. So when he mentions that, it's like their eyes. It's like they realize the authority, the power that is before them.
I don't know.
It's really funny.
It's the judge from Ace Attorney. He's a little bit
I
dinky.
think there's some. He can get stern with the kids if they are not.
This is true.
And then my other friend, shout out to Casey if you're listening. She does voice acting, a mix of like podcasts, not podcasts, but audiobooks. Sorry, mix of audiobooks.
Okay. I was about to say podcasts. I feel like you don't need
acting.
to like hire a voice actor for.
There are some narrative podcasts out there that they do hire voice actors for.
I see.
There's one I promoted to Stumi about like 2 or 3 months ago, because that one specifically was encouraging like up and coming voice actors that didn't need experience to try to expand the field. The only requirement they wanted was like good quality mics.
Understandable. Makes sense. Wait, when was this?
I posted into the Stumi group chat like a while ago, like a few months ago. I can send you a link.
My blindness strikes again.
I'll probably cosplay as one of the characters from that podcast for Halloween.
Is it ongoing?
Yeah. They just started season 2. Like it was the casting call for season 2 when I sent it, and season 2 started like during the first week of September.
Nice. What's it called?
Less is Morgue.
Less is Morgue. It's a little bit dark.
It's a horror comedy podcast, so it's
horror
like
comedy podcast. Interesting.
I think it airs more on the side of comedy, but it's the fact that it's like it's like alternate universe where like monsters coexist with humans. So it's like a ghoul and a ghost have a podcast that they do in their basement.
It sounds like a joke. A ghoul and a ghost walk into a bar. Okay. So it's the ghoul and the ghost doing a basement podcast. It's like a narrative thing?
It's entirely like scripted.
See. That makes sense.
Yeah, really cool. I think they're going to be doing the same process for season 3 in terms of hiring talent, though they did get an influx of applications. Like, it was like over 1,000 with an average of 5 parts people were auditioning for each.
Oh, for like the season 2 casting call?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess that's what happens when you're just like,
when you make it that open.
Hey, everybody, check us out. You know, we'll take anybody and everybody, and then anybody and everybody's like, word. You said anybody? You know.
Yeah, probably a good amount may have not read the mic requirement, maybe, which could have helped in whittling it down, but it did take them a while to go through them all.
Makes sense.
We'll say.
Makes sense. It's understandable. When are we gonna have a narrative talk show back on air here at Radio UTD, Amanda?
See, Ben, I will be. I have 2 exams that are destroying me right now.
This is unfortunate.
But if I feel, it depends on how those exams go. 100%. If I feel obliterated to be able to. If I feel obliterated, I'm just going to dedicate the rest of my school year to just studying. But if I do well in those 2 exams, then I'll be like, heck yeah, I have time for extra things.
Imagine having time.
Imagine having time.
Time in the world.
Tasty time. Just get me one of those applesauce squeezy things. And if it could take me back minutes, I would slurp it.
It's applesauce time.
I would love applesauce time.
Applesauce time. It goes great with strudels. You know? It's like, we had applesauce time right here. Buy your time. You
I would love to buy and
chug some time. You know, get some extra 5 minutes on your exam.
Would love that. What are your comets and craters?
Comets and craters. You know, my comet. You know, I feel like I've extensively talked about my crater.
Yes, the first 10 minutes was probably
that was
the
literally
biggest
like
crater.
The first 20 minutes of the show. But you know what? I love that we have some more jazz albums coming out as new music. Every week there's a new jazz album now. I can't go a week without hearing a jazz album. I haven't even listened to all of it, and it's great. Because I remember when I first started, there was like one new jazz album. And I played that thing till the dogs came home.
Was that the Toontown one?
Yeah, it's Toontown's There From Here. It's so ingrained in my mind, I have the record of that. I've got that on vinyl, on tap. On God, no cab, on a stack. I've got it. It's a good album.
We all were spinning Toontown, because who doesn't want to play some jazz as their new music?
Was everybody spinning Toontown?
Yeah,
That's
I think it was
so funny.
I think it was because also, like, you can't go wrong with jazz. You know? But
because, like, you know, I was like a jazz show, and like everything else is like rock and like pop,
very indie rock based when you came, I'd say.
God, it was the most indie rock land that I had ever witnessed. Yeah, every day was just another day of listening to another sad person writing about their life. You know?
Except for No More Sad Songs with Tyler.
This is true.
That was a show.
No, I meant just like on the new music line.
Oh, I see, yes.
It's just more of it. And it's just kind of how it goes sometimes.
We get a lot of new music, but what shows up and I guess what we can spin does depend on the shows we have at the time.
Really?
You know? So because, you know, is then new that, you know, we had a jazz show, they naturally were then looking for more jazz albums.
Yeah. And now we've got one all the time. It's a great day. It's a great time to be a jazz DJ right here at the wonderful Radio UTD. Don't forget, you're listening right here on radioutd.com. Go ahead. You're listening right here to Merc on Mike on radioutd.com. You can follow us at Radio UTD across the social media board. And you can check us out on our YouTube, where we have live studio stereos. It's a great time here. And you can check out our Twitter, where we advertise all of our shows. And when we start doing giveaways again, when the world starts being a little bit more open to that idea, we'll start doing giveaways. It'll be a great time. Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Merc on Mic. We're going to be signing off for now because we got a neat little interview for you with the Lewd Dudes, a rock band coming out of Austin that popped by for the studio real quick. And you can always follow us at Radio UTD across that social media board. But until then, I'm Ben. That was Amanda.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's been a great time. You have anything else to say, Amanda?
I just hope everyone has a good week. I know it's exams for a lot of people, and you're almost there. You can do it once it's over. Drink some water, take a nap, and get ready for next week's content.
Get ready.
And come to the Pseudo Stereo concert.
Of course.
To unwind.
Now sit back, listen to the same of you, and by gosh golly, have a good Mercury morning. I'm here interviewing the Lewd Dude. How's it going?
How's it going?
Yeah,
well.
chilling. Thanks for having us. Of course. Just get your names down the line on recording.
Sure. My name's Riley Sklar, and I play the bass guitar.
I'm Scott Morgan. I play keys.
I'm Andrew Riefenstahl, and I play guitar and sing.
Rankin Fetzer, I play guitar and sing as well. And then we got Jordan Hughes, who's looking after the tour bus. He's our drummer.
We left him at the car.
He's our drummer. He's keeping an eye on.
He's on duty.
You just didn't feel like coming in?
Maybe.
He gets stage fright, which is kind of difficult since we're in a band and we go on stage every night. But yeah, he was nervous. He didn't want to be on the interview.
That's alright. That's understandable. So, I guess kind of obvious question in a way, how'd you guys start up? How'd you guys get together and start this thing?
When we first started out, I had been a musician and I was kind of like getting out of it. And then all of a sudden I got the call up and a friend of mine asked me to go on tour with them and to play bass. And actually Jordan, our drummer, was also in that group. And we basically were touring with another group from Austin, Texas. And then while we were out on that little tour through the Southwest, it just sort of reminded me how much I love music and how I'm a pretty good performer. So I decided that when we'd get back to Austin, we'd get some guys together and we would start a band that was rock music.
But yeah, we, a lot of us, we grew up together in Grapevine in the Dallas area. And we've been playing music together since high school in Andrew's backyard. We would go shoot hoops and then play music in his barn back there. So we've been playing together for well over a decade before the band even formed.
All right. Sounds good. And so, I guess, obviously, the pandemic was pretty, I think we can all say.
Yeah,
Can't agree, can't confirm.
Can't confirm. I think you guys made a song that was literally just 2020.
Yeah.
And so, throughout the quarantine, how are you guys faring? And what were y'all up to, I guess?
Yeah,
I can't believe you're referencing that. Holy shit. We made that. Jordan and I made that in one day. Our drummer, I was like, "Hey, I got this beat," and then we just started rapping on it.
Yeah.
But that's not. I haven't thought about that song in so long.
Yeah, that's
but
definitely a
for
deep
real.
cut.
But that's real. Like 2020 for sure. I mean, I had a good time, but it sucked. Like, we initially had a tour planned for July of 2020, and that got canceled, so we're finally getting around to do it August or September now, 2021, and so that's crazy, but we're still doing it.
Yeah, we came out with our last album, Malbec, pretty much like a couple months before the pandemic happened, so we were like riding this high with that, like feeling good, booking shows, and then all of a sudden it was just like, boom, like nothing's happening at all.
Yeah, the last show we played was March 12th at Stubbs, and we had a run of shows for South by Southwest 2020 we were about to play, and then word came through that everything was shutting down, and basically it took a toll on everybody, and throughout the pandemic we spent about a year and a half recording our new record Habitable Zone, which just came out last week.
Yeah,
We're fortunate that Andrew's invested a lot of money into a home studio, so we were able to record everything like within our own space without any other people around, just us, and that was really nice.
Yeah. Got lucky enough to do a few shows during the pandemic too. Like there were some really cool venues in Austin that had some really awesome setups, socially distanced, and like Far Out Lounge is a place I always think of. We're doing rock and roll shows during a pandemic, like pretty much the only way, very socially distanced, and you kind of like get a table and then it's masks, required if you're not seated. And they were like strict about it, and that was really cool. So,
which is a really weird way to play shows if we're like a very high energy rock rock band. Like, we get out and we dance in the crowd, and we like to put on a show. And it's so weird to play a show where everybody's just sitting down, like, politely looking at you, and then it ends, and it's like, okay, I think you guys are liking this. I like it.
But after, rotting inside for a year and be able to get outside and play live music to our friends, even if it was in that setting, it was really relieving, and it actually propelled us to want to, like, finish out the record, put it out, and then book a tour as soon as the vaccine came out. And, although it's still crazy, having the vaccine does kind of give you a little bit of hope that at least we can go on tour and rock and roll.
Yeah, I remember it was really funny. So I was in like high school, and like this German like hip hop group, I was like coming over on this huge like educational quote unquote thing. They like put out like this rap music. It was pretty clean, but it helped you like try to learn German was like the point of it. And so
like, what kind of rap groups are coming out of Germany?
Yeah. It was wild, but the really funny part was all these like nerdy high schoolers, they come out to this like concert hall thing where they got them set up, and all the teachers like, okay, everybody sit down, sit down politely in the rows, and the group comes out and they're like, what are you doing? This is a concert! Get up! Get out of your seats! Get dancing and stuff. That's awesome. And so it's, it does make the point. It's really weird, I guess, especially you guys, to have like the kind of, okay, this is a really cool show. All right, very nice.
Yeah, I think, the shows that we have lined up on this tour are going to be kind of like in-your-face rock and roll, and if we had any sort of ability to guarantee vaccines at the door, we would, but, it's just not possible at this point. So I think we're doing the best that we can in terms of being safe and wearing masks when we can, and hopefully the people wear masks inside.
And get vaccinated.
If you're listening to this and you're not vaccinated, then you.
Yeah.
Unless you can't, because some people can't, but whatever.
It's understandable. So I guess I'm just curious. So why rock and roll for y'all? It obviously works. That's the band. But what led you guys to rock and roll instead of, I don't know, some other genre?
I think I grew up in Grapevine, Texas, which is a part of the DFW Metroplex, and I just remember I can't remember what it was, but 102.1 The Edge or something like that.
97.9 The Bone.
Yeah, The Bone. And it was just always playing Rush, or it was playing Def Leppard, or as we were driving in here, we heard Tom Petty and we heard the Dire Straits. So there's a lot of the Dallas radio sound really resonated me a lot. And then my dad also played a lot of the Cars, Genesis, Phil Collins, just your classic bread and butter 80s rock music. And they're really talented, and that's really stuck with me. Yeah, I think we all kind of have different influences. We all bring a different flavor of music to the table. My first favorite band growing up was the Grateful Dead, and I listened to a lot of punk rock, Anti-Flag and the Casualties during middle school. But then I kind of mellowed out and listened to a little bit more easygoing music, I guess, now. But everybody has a different style, a different influence, and we all bring that to the table. And when you mix it all together, I think that's where you get kind of the solid rock and roll sound that we have.
They were giving me grief on the way up here for playing too much indie pop.
Yeah.
I'm the synth guy, though. That's what I do.
Well, I think with all of us too, and in our influences, I think we all like different kinds of rock, and like Andrew's that classic rock. Riley's into punk rock. Jordan, I don't even know what Jordan's into. Punk. He's into kind of everything. He's emo. He's emo too.
Rock,
but and then I'm very blues and funk, which where did rock and roll start? From the blues. So I think when you just put us all together in the same room, rock and roll is gonna come out just because we're gonna rock out.
Oh yeah.
You can see that influence when you go from one song to the next. Our songs there's a lot of albums you listen to and it all has this very it sounds very much the same, but our songs can change from one to the next, and some are really emotional and some are really excited and happy, and others are heavier than the next one. So it's every song on the album is a little bit different.
Yeah, I remember I was listening to some of y'all's tracks, and at some point it was a saxophone. I can't remember if it was Cracking a Cold One or another one on that album. But it really stuck out to me. I was like, damn, they got a sax on this thing. Yeah. It sounds really good, too. So what kind of influences your instrumentation, I guess, sometimes?
Well, we had a sax player, for about 2 or so years once we started up, and he left the band to kind of do his own thing. He's playing a lot of shows in Austin, and that kind of influenced our early sound. But as soon as we lost our sax player, Scott kind of stepped up and filled the role of that lead melody, kind of driving factor. And you'll hear that that on our new album, Habitable Zone, is a lot of the lead melodies driven with the synthesizer. But, I mean, we kind of use all different types of arrangements and instrumentations. For example, we have a song called Flor de Caña, which is about a rum from Nicaragua, and it has a very much Latin rock feel to it, like a Latin rhythm and a Latin rock, and we use some timbales and congas as the instrumentation for the end of that song as well. So we try and diversify it as much as possible.
All right. Whenever you're making your songs, like whenever I'm listening to them, it always just feels like something I can kind of relate to in a sense. Like the really cracking cold one, but then more recently I had a video from like Monday Morning. It was just like a song that you guys were like, all right, we party all night, we hit all the way to like Monday morning, we're still working on the tracks. So what inspires a lot of your songs, and what are some of your favorite songs?
Well, I guess with Monday Morning, I guess I kind of came up with the initial inspiration for that song, kind of brought the guitar in like one verse and like the chorus to the guys. I was like, oh, I think I got something cool. And then Scott helped with the verse, writing, and then I think Andrew wrote the bridge, a little turnaround, a little breakdown, and then you kind of just, the song is essentially just verses and choruses. As far as the songwriting process on that one, it just kind of like everyone kind of chipped in a little bit, and then voila, we had a song. That song, actually, what I wrote it about is, it's kind of like my love song to music. Because, no matter if you're waking up with someone or not waking up next to someone, or if you miss someone that you fell in love with, no matter what, you always wake up and music is still there. And I don't know if most people listen to it and get that message, but that's actually what the song's about. So, I mean, that's kind of just a love song to music, but we have so many other songs that are about...
Yeah, we have
so many other different subjects.
Yeah, we have a lot of strong lyricists in the group. People, and they bring their own creative touch to it. And then also we kind of write generally from or at least I do, I try to push for more of a storyteller, like show, don't tell. And by having a narrative driving element to your song, it really makes writing verse 1, verse 2, verse 3, verse 4, you're really just taking the listener on an adventure, and you have these chorus tags that just, they keep bringing them back. So I really enjoy that storyteller element when I'm writing lyrics, and I know that Jordan, our drummer, is a really great lyricist, and Rankin as well, and we all, you've heard a couple times here, we all do it all together.
Yeah, and I think too on this album, you see a lot more serious themes than maybe we had in the past, old songs, Cracking a Cold One, 69 on the Beach, they're fun songs, and we love them, we still play them and everything, but I think this album in particular is a lot more of a reflection of the time in which it was written. It was all written either right before or during the pandemic as well, so I think that this album in particular took on some more serious themes, while also still trying to keep that levity that we have as this party rock fun band.
All right, 2 more questions, just 2 more. Okay. So number 1 might have been an obvious one. I should have asked it earlier, but why the Lewd Dudes?
That is a really great question. I remember when we were on tour with our friends band from Austin. They're called The Waters. Just a shout out.
2 T's.
Yeah, 2 T's on that Waters. But when we were over there, I just remember, we were in the back of somebody's place, and we had just played a show, and we were having a great time. And it just sort of, came up, because we're kind of goofy guys. And so what's funny, and I tell this to everybody now, is I feel like maybe at that particular moment, I did not have the exact definition of lewd 100% correct. And I had, throughout my life, I think that I think it's the connotation that I had heard it in was sexual in a funny nature. And so lewd to me is about sexy, funny, goofy, exciting. But then when it was, a couple months later, after we've written several songs, I decided to crack open a dictionary, and it's offensive in a sexual nature. And I'm it doesn't say anything about funny in here? I thought this was supposed to be a lighthearted word, because I'd always heard it in that context. So that's kind of how it hit, and then people resonated with it, and it's memorable, and it is a fun, light-hearted thing, especially when you meet us, I think, and you hear our music, it changes your perception of what lewd is. Yeah, I think if anything, besides rocking and rolling, our goal is to change people's perception of the word lewd and make it more widely acceptable. So if you ever hesitated when you were going to say something's lewd, then just think twice, because the Lewd Dudes are all about rock and roll.
I think some people think we're referencing Quaaludes. Like, and I'm like, our music might make us sound like we're from the 80s or 70s, but like we're not. Like this is
I've been asked that a couple
2021, and it's LEWD, not LUDE. I think that's how Quaaludes would be.
LUUD or something. I don't even know.
Something, yeah. I don't know the exact spelling.
Yeah, they don't make Quaaludes anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. But if they did, no.
Hey, if they did, we need a sponsorship.
Yeah. Oh my god. Wait, we got a question for you. What's your favorite Lou Dude song?
What's my favorite Lou Dude song? I don't know. I just like, you know, I like the whole gamut of it. Whenever, so they were basically like, all right, Ben, you gotta do this interview. It's like some hard party rockers, little Lou Dudes. And I'm like, what's going on here, guys? It's just like, I'm just like this huge nerd, just like sitting in a corner, like doing my work. And they're like, you gotta interview these guys. And I read the website, and it's like, all right, you know, beer in hand, you're gonna have a great time. I'm like, man, I'm 20. We didn't even get there yet. Right? But I think like listening to the whole gamut of the song, it's really awesome. I really like the sound and just the way that it can sound unique. You know, in rock space where we get sent in Radio UTD, we get sent in all these CDs, right, from all these promoters, and they're like, you know, please, you know, take these CDs and, you know, put on these people, and we're like, just send us USBs. We were like, it's 2021. We have like one CD player, and it's one guy's boombox he brought from home. Like, yeah. But you guys' sound really is unique in a sense. It has a lot of different sounds and themes and everything. You can go from like Cracking a Cold One to the latest album, Inhabitable Zone, and it's just really, really interesting. And I like listening to it a lot. But I guess I actually did like Monday Morning.
Monday Morning?
Recently,
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I did. So, last question before I let y'all go. What's the future, the Lead Dude? Where are y'all going? What are y'all thinking you